Hi, I'm Emily Dennett, and I'm your instructor for Math-130 online this semester. And I just wanted to, first of all, introduce myself since we may never meet face-to-face, and give you a couple of tips and tricks and just kind of overall orient you to the course, okay? So kind of do the lecture that I would do on the first day of class if we were meeting each other. So first of all, I want to welcome you, tell you a little bit about myself. So this is my 5th year teaching at COTC. I have my master's degree in math, and I absolutely love teaching here and love getting to know students. So please don't hesitate to ever contact me. I do have an office on the Newark campus, so you'll see the instructor information when you log into Moodle if you ever need to get a hold of me. So there's my email address, and then my office is in Adena Hall. It's Adena 140. If you've ever been to the Newark campus, it's kind of a brick building. It's where the gym is. It's kind of right behind. There's a big white tent on campus. And so you can find me there. You don't have to make an appointment on Mondays or Wednesdays from 10 to 11 a.m. or 1:30 to 3 p.m. On Tuesday, Thursdays, I'll actually be teaching up at the Knox campus in Mount Vernon, and so I'll be in their math lab from 2 to 3 p.m. Now, if none of these times work for you and you really want to meet with me, please still email me and we'll try to set up an individual appointment to meet. Fridays, I normally have quite a bit of free time if you ever need to meet with me. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about how this course will work since it's all online. This may be your first online class, and even if it's not your first online class, it may be a little different than what you're used to. So this is what you'll see when you log into Moodle, and sometimes something might pop up, just a little message to remind you what we're working on that week. So the first thing you're going to do when you come into the class, there's a couple of things I want you to check out. The very first thing will be the syllabus. So if you click on this link, it'll pull up, oops, sorry, my account has logged out. Okay, so sorry, once you're logged in and you'll go there, it'll have the syllabus, and if you click on it, it will bring up a PDF for you. And I really encourage you to print off a copy of the syllabus, at least the last page. So a couple of things, you can read through all the policies. Please read everything in the syllabus. I'll show you what you need and stuff, but a couple of things. You'll need a graphing calculator, the TI 83 or 84. I know some students want to skip that step and not get the calculator. Maybe you're afraid of the calculator. I promise I have videos on everything that you'll use the calculator for, and you're really not going to be able to pass this class without the calculator. You'll also need a Math Excel access kit, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. That's for the homework in the book. The book is included along with that, so you don't need to buy a hard copy of the book unless you want one. So this talks about the homework. You'll have homework due every Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Now that first week, our first week is kind of a week and a half since we start on a Wednesday. It won't be due that next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, and then every Sunday following. So all the dates are listed. I'll show you in a minute. There are 12 quizzes. I dropped the lowest 2, so your top 10 quizzes will be counted. Extra credit, every week there's an online discussion. I'll show you where that is, where if you post by the end of that week, the same time your homework's due, you can earn 2 extra credit points. So by the end of 15 weeks, that adds up to 30 points. There'll be one midterm. It'll be proctored at one of the campuses, and we'll talk a little more about that later. And then there'll be a final exam that will also be a proctored test that you'll sign up for. So one page you'll definitely want to print off. This will tell you how your grade is calculated, and exactly how many points you need for each grade. Okay, and then you'll definitely want to print off pages 4 and 5 because it kind of gives you the calendar for the course, and each week you'll see the sections that we're going to cover and the due dates, whether you and if you have a homework, quiz, whatever you have that week. So you'll notice, for example, week 4 you don't have a quiz, so you won't want to move on to quiz 4. That won't be until week 5. So just print off the calendar and keep it somewhere close to where you work on the course so that you're just aware of when we have what. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Pretty standard probably for other courses you have. The next thing you're going to want to do, see, that's one of the messages that you'll see pop up sometimes when you enter the course. The next thing you'll want to do, and that message was telling you to go to the Getting Started folder. So you'll go through the Getting Started folder, and just it leads you through the course, kind of a lot of things I'm telling you here just in writing. So please go through that very carefully. And I will add this video to that part, and I'm also going to add a video about the math lab, so I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute too. Okay, now that we've talked about this, I want to show you kind of what you can expect from each week. So I'm just going to pick a random week. Let's go to week 3 here. And when you open the folder, every week you'll see kind of an introduction telling you what we'll be covering for the week, listing the lessons, those should match up with the syllabus, telling you if you have a homework assignment or a quiz, what you have. Okay, these course objectives come from what are called our standardized syllabus. So those are just kind of, it'll go over what you're going to learn that week. Then for each section of the textbook, we've got a different web page. And when you click on one of these web pages, this is what's really going to be the kind of the classwork for the material, what you would go through just like you would come to class in a face-to-face class. So in each of these, it'll tell you what to read in the textbook, which is online with your homework. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then it'll have course lectures, and these are the course notes. Let me show you. Now you'll actually want to download these, so if you save the file and then open it, what I've actually done is I've taken the course notes and I've used what's called a LiveScribe pen to make a pen cast where it will go over the notes just like I would in class. Okay, so if you save them, and you can delete them after you watch them, but if you save them, then you'll be able to press play. So in section 3.2, we're going to talk about different ways to find. And you can see that it's going to go through the lesson. Now, what's really cool about this that you can't do in a face-to-face class is, let's say you missed a part and you need to go back. So if you see this red dot, you can go to any page of the notes, okay, or anywhere in the notes, and just click on that piece of information, and it will start right from there. So if you need to go back and say, oh, I forgot what she said here, you can go back and hear it. So students have found this really, really helpful. So don't skip these, because that would be the equivalent of skipping class in a face-to-face class and then expecting to know how to do it. So those will be there for every single section. And then whenever there's a place where you are expected to know how to use the graphing calculator, there's a YouTube video that I've made. I made all of these that use the notes as an example, and then use your graphing calculator, so it's a calculator on the screen, to show you exactly how to do it. So also go through those as many times as you need to learn how to use the graphing calculator. Then I might put any handouts I have. For example, here's a handout if you don't like the video, if you want kind of something to print off, a handout about the calculator. And then the course notes that I went over, you'll see a blank version and a completed version, so that if you want to print off the blank and go along just like you were in class, and if you want to check anything, those are also there. So I point out all of this because there have been so many times that I've taught this online class that a student will come to me halfway through the class and are worried about their grade and don't understand why they didn't do well in the midterm, and I ask them if they've watched these videos, and they tell me no. And again, if you don't go through this material, it would be like skipping class in a regular class, and I don't think you would take a regular class, skip class, and expect to pass. So please do make sure you're going through all of these videos and learning it before you go on to the homework. Now, once you've gone through a section or you've gone through a whole week, you can decide how you're going to do it. You're going to go to Math-Excel, so it's mathexcel.com. Okay, and this is where you're going to do your homework. Now, if you've used my math lab in the past, this is very similar. You'll buy either at the bookstore or with a code here, or with a credit card online, you'll buy a code. So when you come, first time you come, you'll come to Math-Excel and you'll say register now as a student. Okay, and you'll need 3 things. You'll need an email address. You can use your COTC email address. You'll need a course ID, which is in our syllabus. I'll show you where under the homework section there was a long set of numbers. And then you'll need either the code you bought from the bookstore or your credit card so you can buy it now. Okay, so it'll lead you through, it's a pretty standard process. There's a video tutorial It'll ask you if you already have that code from the bookstore or not, and it will lead you through the steps. Okay. Now, some of you may have been used to in my Math Lab having a free trial. MathXL does not have a free trial, so you will need to get registered as soon as possible. I don't accept late homework, so the first homework is due September 7th, and so you need to get registered so that you work on that. And one other tip about the homework. I know it's human nature to put things off. Do not wait until the last minute. If you wait until the last minute, you'll often run out of time. You don't have time to email me and ask questions, and that can really be detrimental. So you'll do your homework at MathXL. You'll also take your weekly quizzes at MathXL. Okay, let's get back to our course. So every week you'll go through those sections, whatever sections there are. I also mentioned the extra credit discussions. So each week there'll be these discussions, and these are really supposed to be things that we may not have covered exactly in class, but kind of connecting statistics to the real world. So for example, in week 3, it says go out and find a news article that talks about statistics or has a graph, and you'll give a link to the article and then you'll discuss it. Okay, so you'll add a new topic before the end of that week. And then you'll type in your response. And students have really loved these. And like I said, if you do them every week, you'll earn 2 points each week. But again, it's really important in an online class for you to stay on top of it. And I allow you to work ahead as much as you want, but I do require everything be turned in by the deadlines. I don't accept any late work. Okay, so I think that pretty much gives you a good start. Again, please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. Like I said, you can email me. You can come to my office hours. Another great place I want to mention is the COTC Math Lab. And if you go to the COTC webpage and search Math Lab, there is a Math Lab on all 4 campuses. There's a video here about the Math Lab that I'll also link to in our course that just tells you a little bit about the Math Lab. These aren't the current hours, so you'll have to come back for the current hours, but you'll see on each of the 4 campuses there are hours that you can come in and get help for free. Okay, you don't have to have an appointment. You don't even necessarily need to know what your questions are. You can just go get help. And students find this a great help. So I do encourage you to start going early. There's a lot of students who wait until they're kind of in too much trouble. And even if you just have 1 or 2 questions, go and get them answered right away. Okay, so I hope you have a great week starting out. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to help.